We'd like to welcome you to Wild Wednesday Live, sponsored by the Quilt Craft and Sew Mall. If you are new to joining us, we always we're all working from our studios and our homes and all different kinds of places. So if you ever lose contact or if you can't hear us or anything goes kind of crazy, don't worry, we'll log on again and get it all started, or you can log in again. But for those of you who are new to this, everyone is posting in right now as we speak where they're from. So just go ahead and type in where you're from. We always like to see who's watching. I'm trying to multitask and not very well. So I'm trying to get you guys up on my phone so I can read the comments. But I'm Beth from Fabric Chicks in Gardnerville, Nevada. And I co-host this show once a week with Raylene from Just Notions. And Ron, who likes to remain anonymous, but we don't really let him. He's running the behind the scenes and the cameras and all the techie stuff. So if anything goes wrong, it's Ron's fault, okay? So we have kind of a different show today because all the vendors are exhausted, but they have more common sense than Raylene and I, and they said no, they can't do it because it's we just got back from being on the road for 2 weeks. So we do have a fun video for you, and Raylene and I have demos. I'm still trying to get on Facebook. I'm trying to find where it's usually gives me a little notification that we've gone live, and I am not seeing that at all. So I'm going to have to look that up. So in a second, I'll look that up. So for now, let me see. Look at Raylene. She's the smart one. She sent me all the notes, so I can keep on track. Okay, so let's see. Roll call. Let's see where you guys are from. Our next in-person show is Sacramento, and Raylene and I are you're going to want to stay tuned because Raylene and I are going to come on at the end, and we're going to tell you all about a new event we have planned for the Sacramento show. And it will be at Cal Expo, March 24th to the 26th. And the online ticket sales haven't started yet, but it will be up shortly. So Ron, how about we just turn it right over to the video? Two users are in the stream with audio only. I don't know. It always gives me little infos.
You ready to go? I can kick it off.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Hi, it's Debbie with Easy Piecing. If you're not familiar with our product, we have a leave-in foundation. They come pre-printed. You can see it's very sheer. And the sewing lines are there. We tell you what size to cut all of your pieces and for whatever the project is. And then you just follow the numbers and sew on the lines and you get beautiful blocks. Today I want to show you a quick way to make half square triangles. These are going to finish at 2.5 inches, and if you saw behind me, there's a whole bunch of half square triangle projects. I'm making a quilt that's going to require about I think it's 100 blocks, somewhere in there. And each block has 16 half square triangles in it. So that's like 1,600. So I needed to find a faster way to make them. And I came up with this. It's pretty simple. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120 I'm going to take, first you're going to take 2 pieces of fabric, the 2, you know, that you want for your blocks. And all you're going to do is, and then put the foundation on top, and it'll be a little bit oversized, you know, there'll be a little extra around the edges. Anyway, and you put it on your fabric, and you're going to stitch on the solid lines. And on this particular one, they're on the diagonal where you're going to stitch. And then your next step is to take your ruler, and you're going to cut the rows apart on the dotted line. So you'll end up with 3 rows. And then you're going to cut down the center on the diagonal, and then straight up, just like that, all the way across. And then do that with the other 2 rows. And you'll have your blocks. They'll be like this. And then all you have to do is go to the pressing mat, open that one up, and press it. And you've got these measure 3 inches right now. So when they're finished, they'll be 2.5. And you just can leave the foundation in on the one side because you can't tell it's there. And that is how quick it is to make. This makes, let's see, I got it, 24 half square triangle blocks that fast. Oh, this is one, this is where you cut them into the strips. See, I have these all done, ready to go. So these are your rows, and this row is already cut. And then I just take it to the pressing mat, press it open. You will have to trim the little corners. I just take a pair of scissors and cut that corner off, and they are ready to go. But that fast you've made 24 half square triangles. We do have these in various sizes, from I believe 2 inches our smallest, and actually we might have, I think we have 1 inch. We have 1, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And if you need anything in between there, we can do it. We design, we have the company that actually prints the foundations, so if you need a specific size, we'll add it to our collection. And then the other thing I want to show you today is I decided, with all this time with COVID, that I would try somebody else's mystery quilt, and it called for hourglass blocks that will finish at 2 inches. And so I decided there had to be a way that we could do this faster. So I came up with this. You're going to put your 2 pieces of fabric. If you want, like this one has 2 neutrals, the green and the gold. If you so if you want it like that, do a layer of neutral and a layer of the gold, and then you'll do a second one that's a layer of neutral and a layer of green.
Hang on,
put right
yeah,
sides
it's packed.
together, then set your foundation on top of it, and then you're gonna just stitch on the
still
solid
haven't
lines.
packed it yet. Hang on a second, because I'm doing interviews on a live right now.
Straight lines. And then you're gonna, and the directions are printed right on the foundations. And it says to first cut the horizontal lines on the dotted line. You're gonna cut these into rows. And then you'll take this would be 1 row, and then you'll cut here and here. You'll cut on the dotted lines. And that will give you, then you open it up, and that will give you half a section. So then if you, and you want to press all your seam allowances either to your color or to the neutral, but be consistent. Press them all the same direction. Then repeat that with the other two colors. Do all this, and then when you, I will have this all done. So then when you go to join them, put right sides together, your seam allowances aren't going in the opposite direction, so they'll just nest together perfectly. And then you can just, you stitch the two together, and you can just chain piece 100 of them or whatever, however many you want to chain piece. Then when you take them to the cutting mat and you open them up, you are going to have to trim them. I'll show you how to do that. You will have to trim them. But when you press them, you want to press the center open like that, and it comes out nice and flat. And then we will trim it down, and I'll show you how to do that. But I'll have these all ready to go. So that's it. But now I want to see how good you did.
Hi, Beth. Are you ready for the second video?
Yes. Okay. All right. So for those of you who are watching, it's kind of bizarre today. We do have Deb from Easy Piecing, and she is doing videos because she lives in a rural area, and so her video is never consistent enough for us to play it while we're actually live for her. So that's why it's a video and it's a little bit different. So you can still type in your comments. Mary Beatty, it was hard for me to find it too. And I'm just going to tell you, if you type in Wild Wednesday Live, you might be in for a shocker. You might not get sewing and crafty things. You might get weird things. So I'm just saying. It was a little bit hard for all of us today, Mary. But we want to welcome all of you who have joined. We do have one more video from Easy Piecing, and you can go to her website, which is scrolling on the bottom. You can go to her website. She does have lots of tutorials that are videoed. I do believe she has a YouTube channel, Kathleen. So don't worry. It is a little bit weird this time. I think she's going to be joining so that she can answer your questions. So type them in if you have them. And if she's not able to make contact with you right now, then go ahead and email her at her, you'll be able to find all of her info on her website. But she does have a code. So right there, it's scrolling at the bottom. You can see she's got a 20% off half square triangle blocks. So we're going to go ahead. She's got one more video. You're going to want to watch that. If you have questions, let us know. After that, we're going to do, Raylene's got some stuff to show you. And then I'm going to show you some stuff. And then we've got info to tell you. So for all of our regulars, stay tuned. And for all of you who are new, it's just a little bit different today than it normally is. Normally, we're live and you can just type in questions and we can get those answered right away. So Ron, why don't we do that second video?
Hi, I'm Debbie with Easy Piecing, and today I wanted to show you a real quick trick on how to make half square triangles out of charm squares. I've made this little block, and it takes 16 half square triangles, and if you make them the old-fashioned or the traditional way, it takes quite a while and it just gets very frustrating. So I want to show you how we've come up with a way to make them with using charm squares. I ordered the solid color charm square packs, so I have placed a blue one and a white fabric together with the right sides facing each other, and then I'm going to take our foundation, and it's so sheer. They're a 5-inch square on the outside. The dotted line around the outside is 5 inches. So we're just going to set that on top so that the dotted line is even with the fabric, the edges of the fabric underneath. And then I'm just going to take it to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch on the solid line. There is a solid line around the outside edge, all the way on all 4 sides, and that's all we're going to do is just stitch on that line. Keep that lined up. it's a regular stitch length. You're going to be leaving the foundation in the quilt, so there's no need to use those tiny stitches that you would use if you were doing this with paper. Just turn the corner and do all 4 sides. And then if I was, well actually I'll show you, make this go even faster. Then I would take my next pair that I have together here, ready to go, put another foundation on top, and just scoot it in there and start stitching. And then I will trim this one off. Let's go a little further. And then we've got it, we have it stitched. I don't know if you can see that on the line. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cut on this line and this line. The dotted lines are for cutting. And there we have 4 half square triangles already made. I'm going to take it to the ironing board, press it open, and there we have our half square triangle. I will trim off the little corners, dog ears, and we're done. And these measure, right now, they measure at 3 inches. So when they're sewn in your quilt or sewn together, they finish at 2.5 inches. But it's just that fast to make four half square triangle blocks that are accurate and easy. I hope you enjoyed it. The blocks are on our website. They under the block packages or the blocks on the website, just 2.5 inch finished blocks for charm packs is how they're listed. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and hope you give it a try. Thanks.
Okay. So Kathleen, you definitely need them. Otherwise, you'll end up like me, and you'll sew them and just wing it, and they sort of line up, but not really. If you really want them to line up, the paper piecing is the way to go. And I know Renee had a question, and I'm not an expert at paper piecing at all, but I will give you my 2 cents because that's kind of what you're paying for. I would not make copies of them because it's a really, really fine, kind of like a fine stabilizer. It's an interfacing. So if you make copies of it, like it's not gonna be what you want. Trust me, because you're gonna have the edges it's just not gonna be right. I don't really know how to explain it, but I know that if it was me, and I'm kind of cheap when it comes to that kind of stuff, I would not print them myself. You're gonna spend more money on ink, and it's just gonna be a mess. They're really not that expensive, so I would just go ahead and buy the real thing. Okay, let me see. I've got my comments finally. It's so hard because we're kind of winging it because it was making an echo on my laptop. So I'm on my iPad. So Nicole, that's why I'm perplexed. It won't give me the comments. It will give me the comments, but then I can't see you guys or myself or anything that's going on. So it's all kind of weird today. Okay, let's see. Carolyn says it's great that the foundation is so thin you don't have to remove it. I know, that's the beauty of it. That's why her product is such a great seller. You'll see in her booths at the shows, she really does have an amazing following. So to me, that's kind of how I base what kind of products I want to carry in my store, is the ones that have return customers always coming back looking for their products. Okay, let's see. What other comments do we have here? Kathy says she can comment. She's not sure what happened. Me neither, Kathy. It's the story of my life. Nicole says it was a great demo. It was. And you can always go back. So I'm just going to say this. I know I'm probably out of line. Look, I've got my notes, Raylene. I'm trying to stay on track. But you can always, if you miss any of these videos, you can always go to the YouTube channel. And once you're on the YouTube channel, you can, there's a search bar and you can type in what it is you're looking for. And I believe that will pop up that episode. At least it does on my YouTube channel. So that I think is a good thing for you to know. Okay, so Raylene and I are going to come on and kill time later, so you don't need to just listen to me. So Raylene, are you ready for your demo?
What do you mean by ready?
Well, we're never ready. Roger just left, so Roger's supposed to be videoing, and he just came in and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to get Gracie." I'm like, "Wait, I'm demoing in 10 minutes." That's okay, girls. I can demo and hold the iPad and chew gum all at the same time.
Yes, you can.
Okay, let's see what you got.
Okay, well, hi, everybody, and welcome to our kind of odd Wild Wednesday Live this week. I do want to add a couple of things real quick. As far as Deb and Easy Piecing goes, just because she's not here to be able to kind of help promote herself, she has beautiful patterns, and the pattern comes with the foundation. But later on, if you decide you want to make that quilt again, she then does sell the foundation material by itself. And it's all marked. It's super lightweight. It is an amazing product. And I encourage, if you've never wanted to try foundation piecing because you were kind of scared of it, she can tell you which are the easiest patterns to get you started when you go on her website. So I hope you guys all check it out. So today, though, what I want to do is I just want to share some notions with you guys. You know, I'm the notions nut. Just notions. So some of these things I've shown before, but it's been quite a while. So we're just going to go over those again. Now, for my discount this week, if you go to my website, justnotions.com, and click on the store and then Wild Wednesday. Oh, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry about that. If you click on Raylene's favorites, everything in that category is 20% off until midnight Friday. And all the items I'm going to show you today are part of that particular section. And these are the things that I show at the shows when I do the classes at the shows. So, all right, so let's get started. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, and we're going to switch to the other camera so you can see the items better. I carry Schmetz sewing machine needles because they're universal. I like them. It's what I use. But a couple of years ago, they came out with the game changer, and that is the super non-stick needles. Anyone who sews on fusibles or Velcro with adhesive on the back, you know that your needle over a short amount of time is going to get gunked up, and you either have to try to clean it or you're replacing it. The super non-stick needles are actually coated in Teflon, so you don't get the gunking. So anybody that's doing fusibles, these are a game changer. You want to get these needles. And they come in 10, 12, 14, and 16 size. Now, anytime that you buy needles, or machine needles rather, on our website, we also are going to include the Schmetz book. And looky here. This is going to tell you what needle they recommend for different types of fabrics. Also, what a lot of people don't realize is that Schmetz needles are color-coded. So if you ever have a needle out of the package and you don't remember which one, whether it was a Microtex or a Top Stitch or a Universal, they're all color-coded. And this guide will tell you what needle is what. So when you order, anytime you order Schmetz needles, if we have them in stock, which we do now, we're going to send you one of these 3 little $2 guides so that you have that. Okay, next item. I can never talk enough about the purple thing. I don't know how anybody can work without a purple thing. So what this is going to do is it's for pushing, poking, stuffing, turning. When I pull it out here, I'll show you. So hopefully you can see this. This end is a 1/4 inch seam measurement. So if you're spot checking seam allowances. The other end, as you can see, is curved. So anytime you're turning something that has a curve, it's going to really turn that out nicely. Now it's also blunt. So unlike a stiletto, when you're pushing, it's not going to poke through the fabric so easily. So anytime, that you're turning out points, or like maybe collars, or you're stuffing little crafts and you need to poke out the little nose or ear or whatever, that's going to help with that. It also has a slit, so you can use it like a bodkin. So if you're running, say you're running ribbon or elastic or a drawstring through a casing, you can just slide that piece of ribbon or elastic through the slit, and then you can shimmy that through your casing. Also, if you're at the sewing machine, it's great for pulling up that bobbin thread because you can just get it right underneath your foot. Also, when you get to the end and you're sewing along on the machine and you get to the end and you have to let go, and if you're not careful, it might trail off to the side. What I like to do is take that point of the purple thing, and it will help me to guide that last piece right up under the needle so that you don't have to worry about the trail off. It's also fantastic for scratching your head, just saying. Okay, so that's the purple thing. They're $3.79, and then of course 20% off. And this is something you can never have too many of. I have one in every room in the house because I always say we all share about 100 things that we use it for as quilters and sewers, and then everybody has about another 100 things that they use it for that has nothing to do with sewing. So you can never have too many purple things. Okay, next item. I know none of you guys have any use for this guy right here, but you may not even have ever seen one before. We call this a seam ripper. Yeah, I didn't think any of you even knew what that was because none of you ever have to unsew, right? Well, I do all the time. So this is my favorite seam ripper. It's the surgical steel seam ripper. And here's why I love it. It is a very thin piece of metal, but the seam ripper is actually in that little hook. It's right there on the edge. So even if you backstitch super tight stitches, that's going to get inside to take those out. Now it is super sharp. And a lot of times people will tell me that they have trouble hanging on to it because it is such a little thin piece of metal. But if that's you, all you have to do is just tape it or glue it to a popsicle stick. And that will give you a little bit more to hold on and give you a little more control. These are $4.25, and again, 20% off. Okay, what's next here? Oh, my little needle beetle. You guys, if you've seen me before, you know I love my little needle beetle because I can't see. So I can't see to thread a needle. So what my needle beetle is you notice it has a little button right here. Let me get in the camera range here. When I push that button up, my little wire pops out to thread my needle, but the other things, it lights up. So that light is going to shine directly on the eye of my needle, so it's much, much easier to thread. These come in orange, yellow, or pink, and they are $5.49 and also on today's sale. Okay, I've got a list I keep referring to here so I don't forget to tell you about something. Another favorite item for me are thread peels. Now, I just told you guys that I can't see to thread the needle. So if I can't see to thread a needle, how am I supposed to find a notch somewhere on these spools of thread to slip that little end in so it doesn't unravel? Well, it doesn't happen. Not for me anyway. So with the thread peels, all you do, you just wrap that end of the thread around, take your little peel, slap it on the spool, and now it's going to stay and they're not going to unravel. These come 8 in a package, or 12 in a package rather, for $8.99. Also part of today's sale. Okay, what do we got next? Oh, my favorite pencil sharpener. I love this little pencil sharpener. It's a German steel magnesium blade sharpener. And I always tell everybody one of the best things for marking on fabric is just a sharp number 2 pencil. But the problem we have with that is the standard pencil sharpeners, when the pencil is sharp, it's long and thin. So when you put a little extra pressure, when you're marking on fabric, you tend to break off the end. So this does a nice sharp point, but it's more blunt. So you don't break it off so easily. This is the only thing that I use for writing pencils, colored art pencils, your mark pencils, and for the ladies watching, your eyebrow and lip pencils. You will be amazed how much longer those pencils will last, because once you sharpen your pencil with this guy, it only takes 3 or 4 twists to resharpen it So you're not putting all your pencil in the trash can. These are $2.99, also on sale. But I'm going to tell you, the one that's in my makeup bag, I know I've had it for over 10 years, and it's still as sharp as it can be. It is 1,000 times better than anything that I paid $12, $15 for at a cosmetic counter in Macy's. Okay, up next, my all-time favorite marking tool. You know, guys, with marking, there's not a one-size-fits-all. Everybody's going to need 3 or 4 different things for different things you're marking on. Chalk aligners came out over 30 years ago. And for anybody that's been around that long like we have, you might even remember that originally it was a little black heart shape that to refill it was really difficult, but it was just still the best marking tool. And what makes this so great is when I take the lid off, okay, you see it's like tapered. It has a little metal wheel. Can you hear the wheel? That's dispensing a fine line of loose powdered chalk. Now, this is not for marking an entire quilt, but to be marked right what you're working on, it's not going to, let me show you here. You can see how the beautiful fine line, but I can rub my hand over it and it doesn't come off right away. So it's going to stay on until you want to take it out. And then you just wash it out. Sometimes I'll take a soft toothbrush and brush it out. But again, it's one of those items that the line is so super fine, you don't usually have to take it out because you're stitching right on top of that line. So I love chalk liner. Now, they come in 4 colors. They come in pink, blue, yellow, and white. You do not need all 4. So here's the rule of thumb. If you're only going to get one, start with the blue. The blue shows up on light colors, on dark colors, and I don't know how well it's going to show on here on camera. Let me see if I hold it up a little closer. You can see, even on that yellow, you see where I did those lines. So if you're only going to get one, get the blue because it's going to mark almost everything. Then when you add a second one, get either the white or the yellow. Now I want to talk though real quick about yellow. There is something in yellow dye that makes it very difficult to get out of a lot of fabrics. So if you're going to use yellow, you always want to test it first. It doesn't matter who makes the marking tool, it's yellow dye. So I usually try to steer people away from the yellow, although I do carry it. Now, a chalk aligner comes pre-filled and will usually last most people about a year before you would have to even worry about refilling it. But when you do refill it, the refills come with 2 bottles, so you can fill it up again twice. And it's very inexpensive to use. Chalk liners are $7.35. The refills just changed price. I think they're like $4.80 for 2 bottles. But again, those are part of our sale. Now, here's another cool thing about chalk liner that I want to share with you. People come up and ask me all the time, what do you have that can mark on felt or minky or something that's more porous? This is the guy. So here's this pretty black minky that I just got in the mail from Beth with the pillow kit that I ordered from her. And I'm like, oh, perfect. So I'm going to show you first how it shows up on the actual right side. See how well that line marks on that porous. You can see it fine. Then, if you're marking on the back side, same thing. You're going to be able to see that really well. So if you're having trouble with felts or flannels or whatever, chalk liner is going to be the answer for that. Now I've marked up my piece that goes with my pillowcase pattern. But that was perfect that it came when it did so that I could show you. Okay, next item I want to share with you is called heat press. Now, heat press has been out for a few years, and I absolutely love it because, you know, we like to be thrifty. We never throw away small pieces of fabric, so we don't want to be throwing away our small pieces of batting either. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to say if we have 2 pieces of batting, we're just going to butt those up against each other. You can see right here where they were together, and of course, someone just rang my doorbell and the dog's going nuts. So we're going to butt those up together. Then you're going to take a strip of your heat press. This comes on a roll, 15 yards, 1.5 inches wide. You would just put a strip so that it's halfway on each piece. You take put a pressing cloth over it, take your warm iron, and you're just going to, cotton setting is what I do. I put it down. I just hold it for a few seconds, kind of putting it up and down so that I'm fusing that together. And then I've got that piece of batting, those two scraps put together in one. Now, when it first came out, we were kind of skeptical. So we really tested the heck out of it. So we did two pieces like this, and we ran it through the washer and dryer 2 or 3 times, just like this. It did not come loose. We have put it inside between 2 pieces of cotton to see how it would feel to quilt on it. Either hand quilting or machine quilting. You didn't even know it was there. It's so soft and it stays really flexible. So it's easy to hand quilt through or machine quilt through. And we did, some squares that we quilted all over and washed it several times. Now, I always tell people at the show, because they'll always want to stand there and pull it apart. Well, of course, if you're pulling on it, it's going to come apart. And if you wanted to, you could put a second piece, but you really don't need to. Because think about this. Once it's inside your quilt, are you really going to be reaching inside, pulling on the 2 pieces of padding? Probably not. So again, that comes 15 yards, $7.99. And again, it's on the sale. Okay, what's next here? Oh, quilt clips. We all love our Quilters Clips. Let me pour a few out here. Okay. If you're not familiar with Quilters Clips, these are to use for so many things, but they originally came out for binding. So like for instance, say this was my quilt and I was getting ready, I needed to fold over my binding before I sewed it down. Instead of pinning, you would just simply slide that clip on there and see how fast it is. But not only that, it's accurate. With your pins, you tend to sometimes kind of scooch. And when you're sewing along, it's much easier to take these out. As you get to them, you pop them off. I love these clips. Every time I sew something, I find somewhere else that I can clip instead of pin. Now, when these originally came out several years ago, they were initially put out by Clover. And some of you might remember they were all red. And they came in a pack of 10 for $12.95, which was crazy outrageous. But we would tell people, listen, you're going to love them so much. You can get by with one package. You're just going to, move them as you're going around, as you finish one side, put them on the other side, etc. Well, now, though, other companies have come out with them, and one of those is Sharp Sewing Supplies. This is the same clips that Clover was selling for $12.95 for 10. Now, I will give them credit. They have dropped that to about $7 for 10 clips. But we sell the same clips in a bag of 50 for $15.95. So it's a great deal. Now, also, they came out with jumbo clips, and I grabbed a box of tape here. You don't need the jumbos that often, but if you are doing something thicker, maybe you do have something with 2 or 3 layers of minky that you want a little bit thicker clip for, they do come in handy from time to time. But again, you don't need hundreds of them. So we do sell a 10-pack of these, but the best deal and the best way we sell the clips, besides the 50 count, is our combo pack. The combo pack is going to give you 30 small, which is generally as many as anybody would need, and 10 jumbo for $19.99. And again, these items are 20% off on our sale until midnight on Friday. Okay, Q-snaps. Just a couple more items to show you here. Q-snap frame is my favorite frame for quilting, needlework, cross stitch, embroidery, anytime you need a hoop type thing. Q-snap is PVC pipe. It's very lightweight, and they come apart for storage. I'm going to take my little ends off here so I can show you how easy it is to put your item on. Okay, so again, the frame comes apart. You see it all 4 corners for storage. But what you're going to do, there's my frame, okay, and I'm going to grab my work. Now, this is 4 thicknesses of fabric. Normally, you would have your 2 fabrics in your batting. You're just going to lay that over the frame. You're going to take these little pieces and snap them on, top and bottom, and then the two sides. Now here's what I love. Once you have those on, if you need to tighten or loosen the work, you're just going to turn them out or turn them in. And the whole frame is so lightweight. It is so much easier if you're holding it in your hand for stitching, in your lap. It's just super lightweight. They come in 4 or 5 different sizes. Here's just a couple of the sizes that we have. Now, I usually tell people too, it's like if you have, say, the 8x8 and 11x11, then you can make an 11x18 if you need a rectangle, because you can interchange these pieces. So those are all also on the website as part of the sale. And then the last thing that I wanted to share with you, we used to call these rainbow braids. Now they call them thread plaits. But it is a great way to have a whole bunch of thread with you at a time. You see how this is all braided in? What you do when you need a piece of thread, and these are great for applique or doing a quick mend, sewing a button on. I know we usually don't do buttons if we quilt, but some people do. You just kind of tap down on the top, find the thread that you need, holding the thread plait. You just pull that one piece of thread out, and then you're ready to start sewing. So these are an awesome way to have a ton of different threads with you, like if you're traveling or you're doing a little class where you're going to do a little bit of handwork, because you've got all those tons and tons and tons of colors. And what I like to do, if you just take it, and sorry I keep coughing, we're still having wind here, so my allergies are killing me. If we roll it up, you can take a needle, stick a needle with it, a little pair of thread nips, or what do you call them? I totally blanked. Fingernail clippers. And put those all in an empty prescription pill bottle. And you've got a sewing kit with you for anything you might need to quickly mend. These are $4.20. And again, they are also on the sale. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you today, to give you some of our notions. Again, everything I showed you, you're going to go to our website, justnotions.com, click on store, and then on the top, you'll see Raylene's favorites. And all the items I showed you, plus a lot of other things, are right there. And they're all 20% off until midnight Friday. So, Beth, that's it for me. Okay, Beth, we can't hear you.
Don't go very far, because we're going to come back and do questions and answers in just a minute, okay?
I'll be here.
Okay, sounds good. All right. We're going to do all of the all the things you guys need to know. We're going to do those in just a minute. We're going to give you a code word in just a minute for the prizes. I do want to just say, because I think we should announce this all the time, that we are really thankful for all of the vendors for donating the prizes, because not only are they donating the prizes, but they're also paying for the shipping to get it to you guys. So we do have a little, we had a snafu not too long ago where somebody out of the country won. So if you do win and you're out of the country, we require you to pay for the shipping to get it out of the country. So that's kind of the little thing. We love all our international viewers, but it is super pricey for the vendors. Okay, hang on a second. I'm going to flip the camera. We're kind of doing this all janky this today. So I'm going to flip the camera so that you can see what we're demoing. And as you know, we demo whatever it is we're working on at the moment. Okay, so here it is. Roger's going to take the camera. I know it's so hard because we still have kids in school, so he had to run and get the kids, and trying to juggle everything sometimes is a little bit tricky. And it's kind of crazy because we just got back from the show, from 2 weeks of shows, so we haven't even unpacked all of our inventory, let alone our suitcases, let alone anything. But I am prepared today because we have a live sale on Facebook and YouTube at 4 o'clock. So I am prepared. I've got soup in the crock pot so nobody will go hungry, because it gets kind of ugly at the end of our sale when everybody's starving. So anyways, what we have is, like always, we just demo whatever it is we're working on in our shop, because we do also have a shop that's open to the public Monday through Friday. We do long arm quilting for customers. So I've got a machine running right now. We just kind of multitask. And when I say multitask, we get a lot of things done, but maybe super crazily. So I'm going to show you, I showed you this last week, but I know some of you need a refresher because you might have ordered the ruler last week and then you got it at home and now you're saying, hey, what do I do with that ruler? So this is the 60-degree ruler, and don't worry, I will demo this as many times as you girls need me to. So last year I demoed this probably 12 times. So I'm just saying my girls might be slow learners. Honestly, I think it's you get excited when you see the demo, and then by the time it gets to you in the mail, you forgot why you even ordered this ruler. And so refreshers are always good. So the 60-degree ruler with the border prints, and I don't have any oh, here, I'm going to show you what a border print's like. So here we've got our sale, getting ready for our sale. So this is a border print. It has 4 repeats, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to cut the rows individually. You're going to open it up. Do not try to take a shortcut. Honestly, if there was a shortcut, I would have found it. There is no shortcut for this because if you try to line it up, it's not going to be lined up. Well, maybe you're much more careful than I am, but lining it up is super hard to do layers of this at a time. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut the repeat. So whatever your panel is, you're going to cut the repeat and you're going to get 4 of them out of every piece of regular quilting fabric. So once you get 4 strips, you're going to cut from here all the way down to here, right? So you're going to cut this from here to here. You're going to have 4 strips that look like this, okay? Then once you have that, you're going to lay your 60-degree ruler on it and you're going to cut it just like this. Okay, I already cut this one, so I can't show you exactly, but you girls get the gist. So you're going to cut it from here to here. That's your 60-degree. You can, like I told you, every time I do this demo, you can actually use your regular ruler, as long as it's not your original Salem ruler that from 30 years ago when rulers first came out, that doesn't have all the different degrees on it. So you can use your regular ruler. But I'm going to tell you, I'm cheap and I hate notions because I can't keep track of them. But you're going to want a 60-degree ruler. This is one of those projects like when you're doing the One Block Wonder, you want the 45-degree ruler because it's going to make your life easier. So you could use this if you're a mathematician or a math genius. But if you're just a blonde like me, you might want a separate ruler. So this is the 60-degree ruler. Once you cut out all your triangles from your 4 rows, you're going to lay them down however the pattern tells you. And you might think that you can do it without a pattern because it's so easy, you're just cutting the triangles. But getting them to lay in the right direction for a fun table runner is a little bit tricky. So that's what you want the pattern for. You don't necessarily need a pattern to cut your 60-degree triangles because any of us could do that. But to lay it out in a nice pattern like I've got here, Roger, right here, we have a nice pattern. So here is the table runner, and this is 1 yard of fabric. If you have a bigger table, like a huge table for, a billion people, you can just duplicate it and make it bigger. Like you might make this 2 of these center circles and then put the outside edges on or whatnot. You can play with that. But some people worry about that there's going to be a Y seam. There are no Y seams because you're going to sew this row together just like this. And then I iron my seams open for this project because when you sew them and they meet all here in the middle, you're going to have a lot of seams meeting. So for it to lay as flat as possible, you're going to want to iron your seams open. And then once you get this whole row sewn together, right here, right here, right here, right here, and right here, and you iron your seams open, you're going to do the same to the other side, and then you're going to just sew them down the center. So it's easy peasy, no Y seams whatsoever. And then another thing that I get questions on is, oops, there goes something, the books, the kids' books. We all love the kid books. We have all kinds of them. some of them, here, let me see this one. So all day, I think this is easy peasy. I could do it in my sleep, but I do it all the time. So, you know, I probably make 2 of these a month. But uh, people ask all the time if there's directions written on the panel. There are totally directions on every book panel you're ever going to buy in your lifetime. So they print it right down here. It's super easy to follow. You're just going to cut these out right on the black line. You can cut it out with your rotary cutter, so it's super quick and easy. You're going to cut the blocks out right on the lines. You're going to cut a piece of batting that's the same size as, but you only need 1 piece of batting for 2 pieces of book, if that makes sense. So you don't need that much batting. And then what's fun, what makes this fun noise, and I'm going to tell you, if I had kids, I would not put this in it because that would annoy the crap out of me. But kids love this, I guess. My kids never experienced this because that would have driven me crazy. But I hear kids love it. So it's Crinkle. Crinkle is a real product. It comes in a 1-yard piece. I only put it in 1 page. Okay, so one bag of Crinkle. What?
Stop jumping up and down.
Oh, I can't read sign language. Okay, so 1 bag of Crinkle will last you a lifetime. Honestly, I just opened my 2nd bag in years. So this is what it is. It's just a clear plastic. So I was in a hotel room one night making books, and I couldn't find my Crinkle. So I used a cereal bag. I know it's crazy. We have cereal bags in the hotel room. I rinsed it out, washed it out, and then I used the cereal bag because it made a lot of noise. But once it was sewn into the book, you could barely hear it. So I'm telling you, from a cheap person's point of view, don't use your cereal bags because it's just not the right effect. You want the Crinkle. See how fun that is? You want the Crinkle. Okay, so that's that. But if you still are kind of a newbie at sewing, you are just going to cut them out and you're going to lay it right sides together. So right here, I've got the 2 sides of the pages, right sides together. And this one has a flag that's going to stand outside of the book, kind of like this rainbow is outside of the book. So this one has a flag that stands outside of the book. So I've already sewn around the flag and turned it inside out and then pinned it where I want it. And then I just take this right sides together with the batting on the back. I pin it all nice and neat where I want it. And then I'm going to stitch around, leaving an opening at the bottom. So it will look like this. If normally, I would have made this in the center, but I probably was doing 3 things at once. So that's a little bit off. It's not really going to matter where it is. I'm going to hand stitch it and you won't even notice it. You can, if you want it to be quicker, you could top stitch it with your machine. A lot of people do that. I think it looks funny when it's just top stitched from here to here. So if I was going to top stitch the opening closed, I would top stitch around the entire book, giving it a more finished look. So that's the first page right there. Or, well, no, that's not the first page because this one's the first page with the flag. So that's your little tutorial on books. And then I had an email yesterday for somebody, because you guys are all into the diamond art. We all love Amy's Uniquely Crafts. And I'm just going to do a little shout out to Amy because a lot of people don't realize that Amy actually designs all of her diamond art, and she has it manufactured, and she takes extra time. If it's not quality, she doesn't do it. So I've had customers who have needed glue because it's dried out. Well, it's not one of Amy's diamond arts. So I've never heard of Amy's glue or the tacky on the back ever drying out. I'm sure if you waited a long time, 10 years, it might. But Amy's diamond art definitely is superior. So with that said, a lot of people don't realize that you can stitch on it. So when you want to stitch on it, what I do is I take If I want a 1-inch border around it, I take a 2-inch or however big this is. So I don't think it's quite, it might be 1.5 inches maybe. So I take a strip of fabric, I iron it in half with the wrong sides together so the outside is out. So I've got a folded edge here. So I've got a folded edge and a raw edge, right? So here is my fabric. I'm going to fold it with the wrong sides touching so the right side is out. I'm going to take the folded edge and I'm going to butt it up right against the diamond art, and there's a little ledge. I mean, you can see the folded edge and the beads butt up really nicely together. And then I'm just going to top stitch right onto the plastic. And then once I've stitched it, I'm going to go back and I'm going to use my rotary cutter and I'm going to trim the plastic back 1/4 inch. And now I've just got a sashing, so I can add a border, or I could put a binding on it. I could finish it any way I want. The other way I did it, and I didn't bring that sample in here, but I took a piece of upholstery fabric and I laid the diamond art in the center, and I laid a trim on the edge of the diamond art, and I just top stitched that on. And I turned that is that it's really stiff when you turn it inside out. So you have to leave your opening to turn it inside out bigger. But that was the only tricky thing. You can totally quilt with them. You can put them into tote bags. Amy also had this fun bag that she brought to us at, well, she had a designer make it. So if you're really into diamond art and you need a bag, this here was designed specifically for diamond art. So this opens up and you can pull your diamond art in and out of the Velcro. So, so that, and it's got a clear vinyl on here. So if you join us on our sale at 4 o'clock, we will have this bag on sale. We will have the triangles on sale for the table runners. We'll have the books on sale. Look right here. I think right now, Ann, what number are we up to?
137.
We have 137 items to put on sale this afternoon. So it's super easy. You just watch and comment what you want, and we ship it to you. We make it really, really easy for you to get all the fun products that you see. We're not techie. We're super understaffed. We're not techie. And so sometimes it's hard to find stuff on our website. So I suggest you watch our live, or you give us a call and order whatever you want. Okay, Raylene. So I'm just going to have a little disclaimer here. I don't know what time is it. I had 3 more projects to show you. Well, these you saw in our hotel room. We sewed these. So these are super easy. You just cut around the images, and they have directions too. But they're super easy if you want to make a homemade gift. You just cut around the dotted line, stitch around, leave an opening like this. So here's an opening here. I'll hand stitch that closed. The bird was a little bit more challenging because you added a tail and feathers, and I have to stitch him closed up here at the top. And then I've got 2 other projects I was going to show you, but we'll save those for another day. But I'm going to tell you, one is a self-binding quilt for it doesn't have batting, so it's super easy for when you have car seats or strollers. So that's another demo. And then we have a super fun, this makes two purses that are pretty much the panels that print out the projects on it. So I'm just going to give you a little secret because I'm cheap. If you trace the pattern pieces, then not only do you have a great project that is finished with your fabric, but you also have the pattern to make another one with your own fabrics from your stash. So that is all I have for that. Raylene, are you there? Here, I'm going to flip my camera back around so Roger can go do what he wants to do. He can go have a break until he has to video the live tonight. Okay, I'm going to flip me around. Maybe.
Huh? You want your...
Okay.
Just bring me in.
I'm here.
Okay. All right. So, what do we want to talk about, Raylene?
Well, we should probably give them the secret word first so they can be
Oh my
doing
gosh.
that.
Okay. So, the secret word well, I know I always hate to give it to them because you know what? Then they're busy typing it in and they're not paying attention to all the important things that we're saying.
Okay, well, maybe we can wait
Okay. Well,
because this is pretty important.
it's a little bit important. They might want to get a notebook and write it down. I will tell you though, Devin thought it was hilarious. So I have a son who's 18 who helps me at the shows sometimes when he feels like it. And the ladies were coming up with notepads. Notepads. So you girls, you know who you are. They had notepads and they had written all the vendors that they had watched on the show over the time of the show. So they made sure they went and visited each and every one of us. And so one of the gals comes into the booth. She's got a notebook and she checks it off after she talks to us, and then she's got written down what she's supposed to say in our booth. So that was really very good of her because that's very important. 7 words that are hard to remember. But when she left, Devin said, "Mom, you guys are crazy. Why do people need to take notes so they can remember to see you?" I was like, "Because we're like movie stars, Devin." And he's like, "Mom, you are movie stars to old ladies. Okay, don't let your head get too big." So that's my Devin story.
That was good.
So the code word, girls, go ahead and write it in while me and Raylene talk to you. But pay attention. The code word is party. Party. Okay.
So remember, too, if you're new with
watch,
us,
yeah, go
tell
ahead,
them
Raylene.
party too.
Okay. If you're new to watching, you just have to type in party, and then in a couple of hours, check back with the website or with the Facebook page, and Raylene will have it posted who the winners are. So we have several winners, like 4 or 5, I don't know, crazy amount. So type in right now. I lost my phone in this little short period of time, so I have no idea what the comments are. So Raylene.
Right now, they're just party.
Okay, party, 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 party. Okay, so why are we so excited about a party?
Well, because we all love a party.
For sure. Hello,
You
party,
know,
party.
I was thinking, because you told me to think it, why don't we have a party at Sacramento?
Uh, well, you know what? You're the first person ever to actually listen to me.
I do listen to I hang on every word you say.
So in Sacramento, which is going to be the 24th through the 27th, right? The show is the 24th. Look, I
Yes.
lost my notes.
24th through the 26th.
Okay. So here I'm gonna find my phone so I can read your girls' comments. Maybe
I'm with you, Linda.
Maybe I'm not gonna find it. Okay, I'm just gonna turn this off so I won't be able to see Raylene. Okay. Okay, Albertina, she said yes, have a party in Sacramento. Linda says have a party in Sac. Linda, ABC, aren't you from Puyallup? I know, Linda, we'd all be lost without our notebooks, although I would lose my notebook, so no point in even starting that. Okay. All right, so there it is for you girls. If you have any questions, type it in right now. I really don't know where I put my phone, and I haven't even moved 3 spots.
Well, that's okay, Beth, because I can see comments if you want to switch back to you.
Okay. All right, so I listen to you because you have to tell me a million times. Katie, it's true. Katie listens to every word I say, but I still have to tell her a million times.
So should we go through the details?
I have no pockets. That's why I lose it. If I had pockets on, I wouldn't lose it. Hey, Penny, how are you? Okay, so I'm not sure, Raylene. Did you check with the hotel to see if we could get extra rooms for the girls?
I have not yet, but I will for anybody that might want to stay over.
Oh my gosh. We might say that you're a slacker, except for that I know how exhausted we are.
Yep.
Okay, let's see.
should I tell them the details?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, guys, so it's our first ever Wild Wednesday Live after party. We're going to try this out in Sacramento, and if it works out the way we think it will, we will do it at some other locations throughout the year as well. It's going to be on Friday night from 6:30 to 8:30. Now, we're not going to be feeding you dinner, so you're going to want to grab a hamburger or taco or something before you get there. So when you're leaving from the show, it's going to be at the Arden Star Hotel. They have a meeting room there that we're going to be able to use, and that's the address you see there, 1413 Howe Avenue. Now, I'm going to be posting all this on Facebook, but it's $25 for a ticket, and everybody who buys a ticket is going to get a goodie bag full of all kinds of good, fun stuff. And then we're going to play games, and we'll have door prizes. So lots of gifts and prizes. And we will have snacks. I mean, we'll have some chips and water and stuff like that. But it's a chance for you to get to know other people that are in your area that are wild watchers. You might meet some new friends, and also a chance to get to know some of the vendors, because several of the vendors that are on the show regularly are going to be there as well. Because, you know, at the shows, they want to talk to you, but we're busy. We don't get a chance. So we get a chance for us all to get to know each other a little bit better. So that's why we're doing it.
Perfect. Sounds exciting. There's nothing I'd rather do than work all day.
Oh, me
And
neither. And then party.
Yeah. It's what. Just ask my husband. He thinks that's all we do when we're on the road.
Yeah, well, this is going to be a challenge for me, because staying awake past 7 o'clock when I'm at a show is going to be tough.
I know. You know what? Honestly, at 5 o'clock when they let us leave our booth, I'm like ready to go, like climb in bed, and there might be pictures of me in bed with a box of See's chocolates that one of my customers brought to me, and a beer. That was dinner. Like, you're so exhausted, you don't even care about dinner.
Oh, I know. We just generally drive through somewhere, grab something, or we make a sandwich in the room. But yeah, so this is going to be tough, but I think it'll be fun. So that'll help us stay awake. And, you know, I'll just drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah, good. Yeah, perfect. Okay, and you girls can all go back to your hotel room and rest a little bit before the party. And we have a lot of vendors that are going to be joining us. I'm kind of
Yes.
excited about that.
Hey, Linda. I see you, Linda Kendall. We are hoping that Puyallup will be another location that we could do this. It just kind of depends on, you know, getting a room at the hotel we're staying at, stuff like that. So again, we're just kind of waiting to see what happens on this one, but we're excited. We've got some other stuff that we're going to be doing this year as well that we're working on. We're just so darn busy, like Beth's telling you. We have ideas, just no time to execute them all. We're both constantly calling each other going, ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, okay, who's going to do that?
Not me.
Oh, Karen wants to know if the cookie lady is going to be in Sacramento. Terry Sue's Toffee will be there with the amazing cookies and toffee and everything. And she might actually come by the party. We're not sure. Depends on how much cooking she has to do at night for the next day. But yes, Diane, Denver is another possibility. And earlier, somebody commented, by the way, this has nothing to do with the party, but Ron said, oh, somebody commented about the slot machines behind me. Because, yeah, we do have 4 slot machines in our dining room. It's our little, we call it, you know, Salazar's Slots of Fun. So, yeah, we do. Before we moved here, it was so cool that we could buy something like this, because in Arizona you can. So that was like one of the first things we purchased, was we bought slot machines. And we do actually sit and play them. So they're fun.
So if I come to visit you and I win big, do I get to keep it? Because I had a friend who had the slot machines, and you had to use their quarters and you had to leave the money.
Yeah, that's the same thing here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But we'll load them up so you can play them all night.
That might be fun, because I never play the slot machines because I think I work too hard for my money.
Oh, see, I'm a slot machine junkie. I love them, but we pay pennies. We play penny slots.
Right.
And we lose about $20, we go home. So we just call it the little bit of money we spend on entertainment.
Right.
But yeah, it is like, Nicole, it is like having Vegas at home. And we actually live 20 minutes from Laughlin, which is, you know, mini Las Vegas. That's actually where we have to go if we want a decent restaurant. So it's kind of a casino town, I guess you'd say.
Nicole says, make sure we design shirts for our first party ever. We'll
Nope.
have to design shirts and then have them available for everybody to buy that didn't make it to the party.
Yeah,
So they're not
afterwards,
so
huh?
left out.
And
I
you
know.
know, I forgot to mention it was on the flyer, but it will be on posted on Facebook. You can go to my website, justnotions.com, and click on Wild Wednesday and buy your tickets because we're only going to sell 40 tickets because we have to keep it manageable. So once the 40 tickets are gone, you will have missed out. So if you think you're going to make it, don't delay. Go on and get your ticket.
Okay, and if you're my regulars and that seems like too much work, you can always put it in your basket. You know we like to make it easy for you no matter what.
Yep. So all of Beth's regulars, you can just put it in your basket.
Raylene is super computer savvy, girls. I'm the one that's not. Well, Raylene has Ron, and Ron is super techie.
Well, yeah, Ron used to work for NASA as a
Yeah.
computer guy. So, yeah, he's pretty savvy. But I've worked on him ever since they started. So I know quite a bit, but not as
Not,
much as Ron.
I avoid him like the plague. Well, it's kind of like cooking. If you let everybody know you can cook, you're going to be expected to make dinner every night. If they think you can't cook, then you have more time to sew.
But there you go. That's a good idea.
I know.
Yeah, well, that's why I love my Instapot. I
know.
can
I
run in
haven't
at the
tried
last
it
minute
yet.
and have dinner.
I'm going to have to try it. Oh my gosh, Kathleen is ordering more gluten-free biscottis from Bella Mama. Raylene
Oh,
is
guys,
those too.
she just launched her new, she's calling them cake truffles. And so I ordered them so I could see how they were. They are already gone. They were the most amazing. Oh, Ron says there's one left, and I'm going to show it to you here. So her little cake truffles, they're iced. Oh my gosh, you guys, they are to die for. So that's from Bella Mama. So if you're ordering from her, she has all kinds of flavors. I loved the lemon and the chocolate were my favorite, but she sent us a variety, so they were all delicious.
Um, okay, here. Kathleen says she knows enough about computers to do her fabric orders online. True
Perfect.
story. That's all you need to know, Kathleen. That's all. I know enough to get online to sell it to you. That's
And
it.
Jenny, I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay. Yes, Cynthia, I'll be at Zephyr Cove. And oh, Nicole wants a shirt so she can put it on her bucket list quilt. Nicole, are we on your bucket list? That seems like you should have higher expectations than just me and Raylene on your bucket list.
Yeah, aim a little higher. Aim
Yeah.
a little higher.
Are the tickets are already
Yeah, they're live now.
okay?
Thanks to Ruth.
Go buy them.
Ruth, who I gave 10,000 things to do in the last 24 hours, and she did them all. So it's up and live.
Thank God for Ruth. Ruth,
Oh, I know.
I've got a panel with your name on it. Don't worry.
Well, and I was supposed to get those animals from you at Phoenix for her, and I totally forgot.
Me too. But I did remember when I was unpacking it, so I put her name on one so I don't sell out.
Awesome.
Okay. It's partying with us old ladies. That's what's on her bucket list.
Oh, gotcha. Ooh, that's a lot of stress and pressure.
I know. Carolyn, we will let you know as soon as we know about the hotels.
Yeah, I'll try to give them a call tomorrow. I know it was a pretty good deal for the vendors. So I'm going to talk to the girl that's in charge and see if she can extend that to some of you special folks as well.
Perfect. That'd be super fun. So even if you work, you could drive after work and then get there in time for the after party and then go to the show all day Saturday. And Saturdays, for those of you that aren't familiar with shows and you're kind of leery of big groups, I would say don't come Thursday because Thursday's when the diehards come. That's when the like everybody wants to get there before the good stuff's gone. But just so you know, we bring enough stuff so that we really don't run out that much. Once in a while, but it's probably not something you wanted anyways. There's plenty more there. I mean, we
that's for sure.
I think we only sell, they said on average, we sell 20% of what we bring. So there's still a whole lot left. and it's super crowded on Thursdays. The afternoons are a lot less crowded. So if you come after lunch, the aisles will be a lot clearer. And Saturdays, I know it seems weird because people think, oh, that the working people come on Saturday, but most of our people don't work. Most of our people are retired.
And the
So
ones that work take the days off.
yeah,
So
yeah. So Katie Banhauer, why are you texting me right now? She's live with us and texting. I can't multitask. Okay, so I think that's all we have for today. If you missed one, if you ever miss anything, you can always find us on YouTube. So subscribe to the channel. What else do we
now
have?
give me about 45 minutes and I should have the winners listed. Just come right back here to this Facebook post. Look for the big bright winner banner.
Wait,
and it'll tell you how to do it.
I'm going to tell you what the prizes are. So Easy Piecing has a $25 gift certificate. Just Notions has 2 people will get Notions goodie bags. And Wild Wednesday Live is doing 2 mugs. And Fabric Chicks is doing whatever I feel like. I know we're doing a $25 gift certificate also. That way you can kind of pick what you want, and it forces you to look at our website. Or you could join our sale tonight at 4 and order from that. So that's all I have.
I'm going to be at the sale for sure.
I know they're so crazy. I don't know.
They're fun. I just sit and watch. I feel like a stalker.
I think there's lots of stalkers in this world. I know. It's like I tell my kids, once you put it out on Facebook and YouTube, it's out there forever.
Ever.
Anybody can watch you. Anybody can see you. It's kind of a scary thought, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so I think that's all we got.
Yeah, I think we can probably go now.
Okay. All right. Have a good week. Get some sewing done. And make sure that you have followed us on Facebook and YouTube.
And guys, make sure you get your tickets. Because remember, only 40 tickets.
I know. I think they're going to go fast.
They're going to go quick.
Yep. All right. Have a great week.